Good evening and welcome to Gaming with Scott presents Behind the Masks, a Southgate media production. In this series, our heroes remove their masks so that you, the listener, can learn more about the player behind the character. We discuss topics of interest and encourage our players to go off the rails and down the rabbit hole. We hope this helps our audience get to know us better. Discussions and insights begin just after this music. Welcome to Gaming with Scott. We are here this evening on the floor of Gencon 2016 for a special event. We are here with
John Gillick with Castles and Chemo.
Castles and Chemo. Tell me, that sounds like a combination that is not typically put together. What's the deal?
Well, Castles and Chemo is a charity that I had founded a couple years ago to use tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, World of Darkness, Shadowrun, and all those to raise money for cancer research and support.
Okay.
We, well, D&D was a big part of, or what I feel is a big part of my cancer treatment and getting me through chemotherapy.
So you had cancer?
Yes.
All right. And how did D&D help you?
Well, it was a way for me to not be a cancer patient for 6 hours a week. For when I was at the game table, I could stop being John the cancer patient. I can be Alton the rogue who backstabbing everybody and killing orcs and getting treasure and being all adventurous.
So, and this is something that is discussed. In the I had a good friend who had cancer and she battled cancer and she got over it. And one of the things that she craved during her treatment was escapism. Mm-hmm. She wanted books, she wanted movies, she wanted things that would distract her from being a patient. And I am kind of getting sorry about this because it ended up happening that she wanted escapism. And I have to say, being a gaming guy, running a gaming podcast, it has not occurred to me that gaming could be the window for that escapism. That blows me away.
Well,
I didn't mean to jump in the middle there, but I was just like, revelation, what's going on here? Okay.
That's quite all right. Every person that I've ever brought this up to has always said, wow, that is a great idea. Why has nobody ever thought of that before?
Yeah, thanks. There, didn't think of it. Go ahead. I'm with you. What do you got for us?
Well,
we got to do this.
So once I was in a point where I was considered, quote unquote, better, because you never really get better from cancer, but I digress. I wanted to try and use what helped me to get, to help me get through cancer to help others get through cancer as well. So
absolutely,
a couple years ago, I started running events where I wrote a cancer and chemotherapy themed D&D adventure, and I held an event where people donated to play through the adventure. All the money that was collected from that went to the American Cancer Society, and several of the characters during that first adventure were based on people that I knew who unfortunately did not win their battle with cancer.
Okay.
My first military supervisor, an aunt that I never met, and my grandmother, all of which had various types of cancer. Unfortunately didn't make it. And making them into characters was a way for me to sort of
memorialize them.
Yeah, memorialize them, make them honor their struggle and sort of make them into the heroes that they truly are.
Right. And that they were and are to you.
Exactly.
The inspirations that you saw, you want to memorialize that. That's fantastic.
Yep.
So you have an organization,
mm-hmm.
and your organization runs events typically at like Gencon, or are you looking to expand, or how do you guys normally pick where you run your events?
Well, I'm based out of Connecticut, so my quote-unquote main event, which happens the first weekend of June, happens at a game store that I go to there pretty regularly. We hold the event there annually, and then after that, I go to various conventions to run it there. Gencon being one of the biggest ones that I do.
Excellent.
And within the past couple of years, we've also started to expand to where we were doing a holiday game drive starting from Black Friday up till, let's say, the Monday before Christmas,
right.
Where we go out and put put boxes into various game stores, hobby stores, and the like, and people will donate RPG books, tabletop board games, and similar sorts of gaming accessories that I take and donate to cancer centers. This year we're working with the Ronald McDonald House in New Haven, Connecticut.
Oh, that's great.
And just trying to branch out and do as much good within as much of the gaming populace as I can.
That is fantastic. I mean, that is inspirational.
Well, thank you.
So how do we expand? How do we grow? We're going to get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have this interview. We're going to put it up on Gaming with Scott. We're going to social media the living snot out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to get you as much press as we can. Do you have steps for growing locally, regionally, and potentially nationally? I'm putting you on the spot. I get that. We didn't discuss this one. This is kind of like out of the pocket. Because if you don't have ideas, I have no, I'm just kidding. I don't have anything either. So we're with that.
Well, I am looking to do more events on the local level with other game stores that within Connecticut for other organizations. I'm in talks with another store to do something for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is an organization that's all kind of partial to me because that's the type of cancer that I had.
Okay.
And as well as trying to branch out. I'm trying to crack the Magic charity event model. It's something that me and several of the store owners have not been able to work out. It doesn't make sense currently for most stores to do charity Magic events.
Sure.
But I'm pretty sure that there is a way to do it, and I will find it.
Okay. Well, if any of our listeners know the code or the combination to crack that Magic event for charity, send us an email. We will get you in contact with John. Any and all suggestions, comments, or helpfulness will go towards escapism for cancer patients and make things a little bit easier to get through chemo and treatment, and that is always a good thing. So so local to regional, regional to national. You got Gencon. Do you have other national conventions that you go to? We can talk to Robert Downey at San Diego Comic-Con and get him on board with it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know him. If I knew him, I would be like, hey, I'll call him and you guys can talk directly. We'll skip the interview. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., if you're listening, call me. My cell phone is on the... No, never mind. No, I digress. I digress. Other big cons that you go to besides Gen Con?
I do occasionally make it out to Origins.
Love Origins.
I've boothed there with Castles and Chemo before.
Nice.
And I do run events there. I do a more local convention in Connecticut called Connecticon.
Okay.
That one's more of what I would think of as an anime convention, but they do have a gaming section, and I have run events there in the past, and they've been pretty good. And I just lost my train of thought. Forgive me.
No, you're fine.
Chemo brain is a real thing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, you take as much time as you need. We're good.
Other things that I'm trying to do, in addition to writing the adventures, I also like to publish those adventures as well. I collected the first 3 into a volume called the Indiegogo Collection, since I used Indiegogo to help fund the actual founding of the organization, and as part of that campaign, one of the rewards was the first 3 years of our adventures put together in one collection.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think it's a really cool product. I wish I had it with me to show you, but I can probably shoot you a PDF of it. So
that would be fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, is that something that people can get through, like Drive-Thru-RPG?
Yes, it's currently up on Drive-Thru-RPG.
Oh, we will put a link up to that along with this interview where you can go out and do we know the price? What's the price on RPG? Drive-Thru-RPG?
It's $10 for the PDF, $25 for the print version. Also, we have our series of minis, paper cut-up minis.
Nice.
The first one is $3. The other 3 are $1 each.
That is fantastic. Okay, so then we'll put up a link to the RPG, to the Drive-Thru-RPG. Do you have a website as well?
Yes, the website is Castles and Chemo, all one word, and A-N-D is spelled out.
Excellent.
.org.
.org.
And if people have, if your listeners have anybody in their life who has been affected by cancer and they want to try and memorialize them, we also have a section on there.
To make characters?
Yep, it's there's a big button on the site that says "Become a Hero." You click that, and it'll give you a form to fill out, and it'll send it to me, and I will turn them into the character for the next coming year.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is all right. We're going to roll this up. We're going to roll this up. We're going to get the word out on this because I know several gamers who have been affected by losing loved ones to cancer, and it is never a good thing. But the opportunity to memorialize them in a fashion befitting our geek and nerddom that we hold so closely would be fantastic.
That is one of the big motivators that I had was I had done a number of events, with the American Cancer Society, their, longest night events, light the night sort of things,
sure.
Relay for Life and all that. But they never really hit that same sort of nerve, that scratching that same sort of gamer itch. And I wanted to try and hit those same sorts of things. Do the things that I love as one thing.
Yeah. And that sounds like the perfect intersection to let that happen. So we've got the website. We've got Drive-Thru RPG. There's links from the website to the Drive-Thru RPG, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Facebook?
Yes. Just search Castles and Chemo. We're the only one that comes up.
Castles and Chemo. Fit Twitter?
Yes, that would be at Castles and Chemo.
Excellent. And then Instagram?
We're not on Instagram.
Pinterest? I'm just keep naming names and going, we got Facebook, Twitter, we got the website, we're good.
We're on Google Plus as well.
Oh, G Plus, I didn't even go there.
You could join the dozen of us that are still over there.
There's only like 9. What are you talking about? Oh, no, I'm kidding. A dozen is really generous right now. Oh, I'm sorry. That's so sad. We love you, Google Plus. Nah, we're fine. It doesn't matter. So that's why we have you put the headphones on so you can hear us when we're down here doing this. Because everybody goes, what's he saying? You don't want to know. It's terrible stuff. Then, John, so what are your plans? This is Saturday at Gencon 2016. Mm-hmm. We are out. I will grab this and throw it up as soon as I can. That may be a thing later this evening. Mm-hmm. When it comes out, I will make sure I tag you on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay.
I will make sure we've got a big old show notes thing that we'll put out. We'll have all of your links into it so that any of our listeners that want to go out. By the way, listeners, typically I do not ask you to do this. You know this. This is one of the things that I don't get on you. Please share this. I don't ask you to share my stuff. I really don't. I mean, I get on it for the people that are on my show. I'm like, hey, share this, you idiots. But the rest of my listeners, I don't bug you for shares. You know that. You know I'm like, hey, listen to my stuff. If you love it, great. If you don't love it, tell me. This is one of the times where I want you to take this and I want you to share it out with as many people as you can. Because if there is a gamer out there that you know who has someone in their life that Castles and Chemo could help, that's a thing, and that's what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah. Personal stories of family members, or stories of caregivers as well.
Yeah.
They often do not get enough respect or
recognition at all.
Exactly.
And they do this over and over and over.
Yeah. Even though they are not related to a lot of these people, they still have to endure a lot of this. And
yeah, well, and it's funny that you say that. My mother-in-law had Alzheimer's. And was in a memory care facility that was like oval shaped. So if she decided it was time to go and she wanted, like, I'm going to leave, and she would leave, and then she wasn't going to go. It went around. We got so close with one of her caregivers that it was that this person felt like a member of the family.
Exactly.
It was a thing.
Yeah, the people that you run into in these sorts of situations, they can really become more family to you than some people you might be related to blood. I was in the military when I was diagnosed, and one of the big helps was my supervisor at the time. He drove me over to the hospital when the doctors first had questions about it.
Right.
And during the time that I went through the bone marrow biopsy and the induction chemo, he was there almost every day just to make sure I was doing well and to get me set up and see if there was anything that he could do for me or get for me or things like that. And I love that man like a brother.
Sure.
It's and I really want to do more for people like Mark who have helped people in their lives get through it, as well as the people who, like me, had also gone through the things themselves or watched somebody else go through it It is not a happy thing, and anything that we can do to try and brighten that up a little bit is absolutely golden.
Is absolutely golden. That's 100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you know of anyone, you can share this with, if you know of anyone who you think could be honored in that fashion, we genuinely. You mentioned Shadowrun earlier, so it's
yes.
not just D&D, right?
Yep, I'm working with Catalyst and I'm working with White Wolf to try and get these sorts of things out. It's a bit tricky because their license is not nearly as open as D&D's.
Right. Trust me, I understand.
Yeah, it's.
I said a wrong word. We need our lawyers to talk to you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But they have been all very generous. Catalyst has also been a big supporter of our game drive.
Wonderful.
And we are just working to get as many games under our belt as we can.
That is fantastic. So I just wanted to make sure there's not just D&D. There's a whole bunch. We're trying to work in a bunch of different directions. Well, excellent, John. I wanted to say thank you very much for coming out and talking to me.
Well, thank you for having me.
We met sort of on the fly, in passing, crossed paths on a thing, and we've been kind of busy in between left and right. And you came back. We just had a pair of interviews that were phenomenal. And we were just all over the place, and you made time to come back and talk with us, which means a lot. And we want to do everything we can to help you.
Well, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So again, it could have been one of the, like, boy, they were busy then, and they were busy now, and they were busy over here. And you said Castles and Chemo earlier, and I went, okay, I put a pin in that, so let me think about this. But I didn't. Looping back to it now, I'm so glad that I took the opportunity to say, oh, wait, this is not only what I thought it was, but it's so much more than that with the memorialization of a character, making a character out of that. That has blown me away.
It's actually one of my favorite things about doing and writing the adventures every year is to take these stories of people that these people love and want to remember or honor or recognize.
That is so cool.
And turn them into fantasy heroes of the versions of the real heroes that they actually are.
Right. Because we're gamer, the famous stories. Remember my character, the one that took the hill, that did the thing that we when you answer the question, would you rather be rich or would you rather be remembered? And they're like, well, I've got characters that I remember from way back, and I'm not rich, so I know which one I'd rather have.
Exactly.
And there it is. I mean, because you can't take it with you. We all know. So I'd rather be remembered. And this is a really good way to do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
That's fantastic. All right, I'm here with John. He's here with Castles and Chemo. You are listening to Gaming with Scott. This is Behind the Masks. And as always, you'll hear from us real soon. Bye.
Bye.
And that'll do us tonight for Gaming with Scott presents Behind the Masks, a Southgate Media production. You can always send us an email at gamingwscott@gmail.com or catch us on Twitter. Josh Elliott is at Asmodee369. Dan is at Malkware. Josh Jackson is at ActionJack853. And Rico is at R1CO. Or me, Scott T, at GamingWScott. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/GamingWScott. Remember, superfans, the more you share, the more we make. If you love what we do, share it with your friends. If you don't love what we do, please share it with us. This show will only be made better by listener participation. Send us email or comments on Facebook, or send us a tweet of the things you would like us to discuss. We promise we will get your comments and topics on the air. And as always, you'll hear from us real soon.